Hey there, folks. Welcome to another Railroads Online video. It's been a while, but I've been busy on my railroad. It's still nothing professional. But anyway, I think we're on part 4 or 5. And we're sat here at the lumber yard. Just had a bacon sandwich and a cup of coffee. About to go hop in our chooch. Of course, we still got the mogul. I have also recently purchased another locomotive that I worked long, arduous hours, days and nights, and we'll see that in just a moment. But we've already got a lumber train loaded up here. We're going to take it to the lumber mill, or the sawmill, whatever you want to call it. Over here, still the cordwood section where I've got my my cheese cars, I guess you could say, with Firewood Depot. I don't know if they'll ever fix that. It's not really a cheat if you think about it. It still takes time doing it. You still got to level up and buy stuff. Or you could just buy a lot of cars and make a lot of money at once running a train somewhere. But anyway, we're going to hop back into it. I've done a lot of stuff today. You'll see that as we head back to the sawmill. I've been busy. Very busy. Go ahead and make sure she's in reverse here. Get rid of that brake. Let's get going. Whoops. There we go. Gonna go ahead and get the hell on out of Dodge. So I have completely redone almost the entirety of all of my lines. The first of which you'll see here we're coming up on. We got 2 bridges that come into the lumber yard here, which the bridge we're going to cross over is obviously for the raw lumber, and then the other bridge is for the cordwood. Give her a little more juice. Oh, hit the wrong key. There we go. The lean out thing, it's still working on it. There we go. So I've completely redone this. We've got 2 trestles now, one for each side of the yard. The main reason was cleanliness for one, and smoothness for the rails, because it was a bit messy. You know, when you're using Betsy, the angles don't really matter that much, nor does the you know, the power, because it's a bit OP, and the devs have talked about upgrading it, because I guess they've been talking to a guy that really knows the numbers for an 040, Porter 040, so I think it will be fixed at some point. Let's go ahead and hop in the other view here. There we go. Our fire is going out. Alright, so we're actually going to stop here. Bit of a break, a pause, if you will. So they've updated this a lot as well. I don't know, you know, how much you may have been following it, but since October 29th, there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 updates, which is quite a bit. One of which is the fuel, the wood. So now, when you pick this up, and yes, I know, I only need 5. I'm going to throw some more in here. Now when you pick this up, you throw a piece of firewood in there, you'll see a spark and you'll see it light. That, you know, that kind of lets you know you got it in there and it's going to start roaring. It seems like it takes a little longer for the fire to get going, for the pressure to rise up. But while that's happening, we'll sit here and take a look real quick. So these are my new trestles. If you remember before, unless you're new to the channel, if you are, welcome. By the way, this was on the ground, you know, so this gradient down here was insane. It was essentially a roller coaster. It was like going to Six Flags or something. Straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, back and forth. Now, I've got 2. You will notice the the cordwood trestle over here to the left has got standard ties and rails on it, and it looks a bit ridiculous, if I'm honest. Compared to the one we're sat on. But I did that by accident. I was fixing it up all up here, and you know, got all the way to the end where I got the switch down there, and it was, you know, it was done. And I turned around and I was like, that doesn't look right. But you know, I'll fix that at some point. Now, once we hit this hump up here, I think I got it to about 3%, which isn't too bad. This mogul has no problem with that. Fire temps building here. Getting there steadily. We can go ahead and probably push over. We might have enough juice here. Let's see. Okay, maybe not. Little slippage. Yeah. Definitely gonna want some momentum. So we'll roll back down a little bit here. Because it's you know, it's still pretty good, but it's not, you know, crazy grades like it was before. I couldn't get you know, I couldn't get any locomotive on the tracks that I had here before. It was just you know, it's basically screwed unless I had the porter, which by the way, rest in peace for my Eureka, because it has disappeared. I have no clue where it went. So I went from having 4 locomotives to back to 3. And it's a shame. Like, I still like the locomotive, but I'll end up buying another one at some point. Luckily, they're not too expensive. But anywho, I left it on a turntable because I've been building a couple of turntables, and it just disappeared one day when I loaded in. I think it was because I left it on a turntable. So I don't know if this is like a known bug, if it is a bug, if, you know, it somehow disappeared. You know, maybe just don't leave your locomotives on a turntable. Weird stuff can happen when you load saves in. I've heard people talking about, you know, their locomotives being launched into the stratosphere upon a saved load. So, but anyway, on to the lumberyard. Got our switch up here. It should already be set. We just came down here, preemptively filled the cars up. We're gonna take them, get a little money. It's cost me quite a bit of money clearing this all up here. Go ahead and come off the throttle a bit, because now it's back downhill. Throw a little brake on. I've cleared quite a few trees. I think I went into debt several $1,000s, not only for that area, but for this area here that we're about to cross as well, going into the lumberyard. So this, I just decided to put a steel trestle. I think it looks more like a, you know, it's still a train bridge, but it's more like a causeway, maybe like something that would be over a floodplain or something like that, you know. It should start evening out here in just a moment. Give it a little bit more juice again. The stacks are in sight. As you can see up there on the left, we got a train loaded with the finished product that we're going to take up over the second thing that I've been very much working on a lot. I mean, it's been 2 weeks at least, I think, with, you know, the little time that I have to spend on this. It's been all that, basically. That's been like 70% of it. So we're going to back into the yard here. So there it is. I picked up the Heisler. I was going to go for the Climax. I decided, they intend to fix the Heisler, if I'm not mistaken, and it's, for what we're about to do that you'll see here in the next few moments, the Heisler does it just fine. Just fine. So we're going to hop on that once we park this at the platform over here. And this crazy-ass looking thing on my left, don't be alarmed. I'm trying to build a train shed of sorts. I've seen people do it. I don't know how they do it, but I've seen some amazing looking stuff. And I'm trying my hand at it. We'll go ahead and get off the switch here. I've also built a passing track here that you can see as well. It may be a little bit close as of now, so I might have to run back through and space it out about a foot, just so the trains aren't too close. It's essentially just for a run around or something like that, if you will, you know, with the turntable that's up there. So we're going to go ahead and full on brake it. Tie down the tender. We're going to go to the back and tie down that last car. I hate when that happens. It freaks me out. I know it's a bug and it doesn't really matter, but it still makes me think it's going to derail. Some of you might have remembered this area right here as well. It was kind of shaped like a P, the letter P. It kind of went out. It was really weird. I went through probably at least half an hour smoothing this out, so it's nice and smooth all the way around to the other side. Just put some planking on the ground. This right here is nothing new. I've seen people doing this as well, but just in case, on flat ground, if you want some planking to look like this, because I kind of like it. You know, if you're gonna have like a horse-drawn cart or whatever, some kind of wheelbarrow, it's gonna be hard to roll it over, you know, muddy ass dirt and grass and all that. So I just threw some planking down here, but it's essentially just your bridge, and you just go to the lower level like that, and just stretch it out to where you want it. I think right about there is where the other ones. And bam, you got some wood planking on the ground. I got it down here as well. Kind of goes along the steps, so if you got your engine up here, ain't got to get your boots and your pants too dirty. You can essentially put that anywhere you want. It kind of spices up rail yards a little bit. I think it makes them look a little bit nicer. We're going to head over to the Heisler. Here is my second ever turntable. I went for the white one, and it was a bit up high when I built it, so I had to kind of go around with the fill, and you can see it kind of bleeding through there. It's not terrible. I'm going to try and go back and fix it at some point, but as of right now, this works. It's legit. I got 3 here. They line up, you know, just fine. I tried to get them nice and you know, evened across all 3 sides. This here, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to see once I get the roof on here if I can get rid of this right here. But when you put steel, these steel trestles, I get these beams, and of course you're not going to be able to get a locomotive through that, so it's going to be a bit of an issue. So, you know, a couple of locos might fit on that, but, you know, namely the Porter will have no problem fitting on that thing. So put the other 2 locos here. Bit of a bump stop there. If you guys have been doing this, or if you have any tips, insight, criticism, anything, let me know in the comments below. I'd like to know what you think as far as trying to build an engine shed. I think it just adds to the yards. It looks kind of ridiculous. Well, not kind of. It looks ridiculous right now because they just, you know, they kind of got that like pyramid shape. And they're a bit thick. If the one in the middle wasn't there, you know, we'll see. But hopefully on the next video, when I get around to making it, that'll be completed, and we'll see how it turns out. But we'll go ahead and get the fire started in the Heisler, and I'll show you my little siding and yard over there to the left where the Porter sat. Gonna go ahead and flip that switch back. I think I got the handbrakes tied on down here. Let's double check. So we got 2 beams, I believe, and 4. Yeah, I do. And 4 just flat wood. I keep forgetting what the hell it's called. Planks. Planks? Plank sounds good. We'll go with planks. Alright. And here's the Heisler. I love this thing. It is a straight donkey. This sucker can pull, and what we're about to be going up is, you know, it's not a whole lot, you know, compared to some other stuff I've seen, but it's up there. I built a bit of a ridiculous line, and I'm gonna call it my pass. I can't really think of a good name for it yet. I was thinking about calling it Big Rock Candy Mountain. Some of you might know what that is. And possibly even calling the railroad Big Rock Candy Mountain as well. Big Rock Candy Mountain Railroad, so that'd be BRCMRR. It's a lot of letters. Alright. So it's just down there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pull these so we can shove them up this pass we're about to go over, which has an average of about 5% and sections of 7. Let's make sure we're tracked right there. This yard right here, I went ahead and made this like a passing track, so it's essentially a balloon loop all the way around if you wanted to. I did have a switch right up here, but I cleaned this up some because I kept derailing for one. It was very old when I put this, like early days of me making this railroad. So there could have been like an invisible spline or something going on there, but I went ahead and got rid of it and just have these two storage tracks. They're not huge, you know. They'll handle this one right here. Probably handle what, like 4 cars, and then maybe like an engine over there. There's old Betsy. Can't ever get rid of Betsy. And then this over here, which is no longer with us, another rip. I thought I'd leave the roadbed, which looked kind of cool, like, you know, railroad used to be there. You know, it's interesting seeing stuff like that in real life. But just another little siding, little spur, put an engine on, a couple of cars, something like that. I cleaned this up as well. I put some more of this down the rock wall, rock bed, whatever the hell it's called. And I'm trying to put a sand tower or a sand house on here, because it's got to be on level ground, right? If you try and put it like down there, it's just going to sink or float and look stupid. So I kind of laid this out. I'm going to try and get a sand house there, but I can't quite get it where I want it yet. But anywho, this over here, of course, goes to the smelter, and I built that line, and I was proud of it when I built it, even though the the maiden run was a total shit show. But I digress. Anyway, that's been since fixed. You know, but it dawned on me, I don't need to go to the smelter yet. I need to go to the iron ore mine, and that's what I've been building the new line on. So that's where we're gonna go. But we're going up high in the sky to get there. Go ahead and hop in here. How are we looking? Boiler pressure 160. Fire temp is rising. We can go ahead and get her moving here. Alright, fingers crossed. No derails, no uncouplings. I keep getting random, you know, decouple uncouples. I don't know why. When I load in on a save, if I have a train set, God almighty, that tree's close. That thing came out of nowhere. It didn't used to be there. I'm gonna have to get rid of that. But yeah, sometimes when I load in and I pull, you know, cars will just randomly decouple. It's irritating as hell. So I've been kind of going through now and you know, checking the link for that sound, you know, the link sound, to make sure it's all good to go. So there's our new line here. This line here to our right used to go straight on. You can kind of see towards the lumber mill back there. That was the crazy line that you know, decoupled like everything that went over it, and it had to be hammered. It had to be smashed. So I took this line, and this is the line. We're going to loop around. There's a bit of a horseshoe curve over there. Not too tight. We need to slow down a bit here. Just need to clear this, this switch here. So we got another passing track here as well. So if we need to tie on a little bit of extra power on the back, if I need to run around a train, something like that. Just another little passing side in there. We'll go ahead and start bunching them up here. I want to go too damn far. Yeah, we went too damn far. Alright, so now I'm going to get out. Go ahead and throw some more wood in there. And this thing holds a ton of wood, and I love the sound of this thing. Like, I looked at it on that video I made looking at all the locomotives, but I never really used it. And this thing is very, very useful, especially what it's about to do here. So we're going to just get her moving here. We're going to go up and flip that switch. So yeah, just a little area here if you need to run around the train, because I have had to do that. Because I've learned I like to push these, which, you know, typically back in the day, they would most definitely push cars, you know, when they could. So that's what we're going to do here. So also traditionally this line, I didn't want to go the way that I keep seeing, you you know, a lot of people using it. It may be the easier way to go, but I didn't want to go that way. I wanted to do something different, and so essentially we're not going to the lumber mill and then busting it right. We're gonna horseshoe curve and follow the ridgeline and essentially go back towards the freight house, which we'll see from the sky, way high in the sky. And it's kind of funny seeing that main valley, the big flat open valley behind us from the air, because we're not going to the gorge where the smelter is. Alright, so this right here is pretty spicy. I think this is about a 4% right here. I put a water tower up here like an idiot, because what railroad's going to have a water tower like on a massive incline? Because, you know, you're not going to stop a train on an incline like that. So, I don't know why I put it there. I just did. I do stupid stuff. It'll be corrected at some point. So you essentially got one for each line, the lower line, and then the upper line here. Something else that's been happening that I'd like to note is, with some updates, you know, things will occasionally break. And I've had a couple of bits of track just straight up disappear. Like, I'm talking about a 1 foot section, enough to just, you know, pee in your Cheerios. So, you know, with new updates, I'd look, maybe check your tracks out, do your, walk your tracks, maybe do the exterior operation. What is it, the F key? Not so much like this. So through here, this is our horseshoe curve here. We're essentially going to go back that way, south. It's pretty flat through here, but we're going to hit a section where it's immediately going to go up to like a 2%. That tree is close. And then a 3%, 4%, 5%. I try to keep it nice and smooth. But essentially, it's going to go up to, I think, 7 maximum. Which, you know, this thing can handle. Even if you have to stop it on a grade, if you have to, like, hill start the thing, as long as you got the brakes on, you give it, you know, ample power, you should be good to go. Now, I do have a couple of curves up here which are pretty gnarly. It's a particular S curve I'm going to have to slow way down for, because this sucker right here doesn't really like it. It has the edge of the front edge of the front truck that goes off, but you'll see what I mean here in a minute. We'll go ahead and head to the exterior view. So you can tell we're climbing up through the treetops, the canopy now, kind of like a breaching whale or a submarine. The sea of trees. Steadily pushing. I gotta kind of try to concentrate here, because it gets a little hairy once you see the stone embankment up there. Once we go around that, it gets a little sketch. Give her a little more juice. Just about out of fuel. Fire temp's still looking good though. We're gonna have to throw some in there in a minute. Finally over to the ridgeline now. So went from trestle to stone. I wanted to kind of follow the entire ridgeline, but there were so many very sharp curves that it was just near impossible to do. But we're on the side of the damn mountain now, and it's pretty high up there. We got to go nice and slow around this curve, I believe. Yeah, this is one of the tricky ones. Now, I don't know what the radius of these are. I still cannot lay with that snapping tool that well. I've kind of played around with it, and done a few nice curves, but I always get something weird happening at the end, it seems like. I lay the straight piece, try and snap the degree, and it still craps out on me for some reason. So, like, 95% of this was just laid manually, by hand, just, angles by hand. You can see the main line down there off to the left. Got to give her a little juice. We're starting to hit that heavy grade. So there's the main line down yonder to the right, and there you can see the yard where where you start the game essentially, and the freight house. I would like to try and build a Y where we're gonna hit the Big Rock Candy Mountain pass up here. There it is, just in the distance there, center screen. Kind of make a Y that goes around that ridge line and then maybe loops under itself and then goes behind the yard there. Just another way to approach it, if you will. Alright, so this is one of the sketchy turns. You can see the wheels here. Some of them don't appreciate it too much, but as long as you take it nice and steady, don't stop, definitely don't stop, don't slam on the brakes, definitely don't go too fast, you're generally alright. I believe this next turn as well, or turn, is pretty sketch as well, so we'll have to take it nice and easy over that. And I believe you can kind of tell looking at that damn bridge, good God, can you imagine something like that in real life? I believe that whole thing is just about between 6 and 7%. There we go, one more sketchy curve. Oh, Heisler, we got it. We got this. And that's why I chose the Heisler. Powerful. Torquey boy. Can do. It's very much got a can do attitude. I probably could have built this crazier. But I wanted it to be semi-realistic. Although, a lot of this is not. But this was tough, man. I've literally been working on this when this odd hour or two per day for like the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Just trying to get this done. I laid the groundwork and the bridge out fairly quick. That was the easy part. That was cake. It was laying the damn track and the rails and getting it to work right. That was the more difficult part. There's the freight yard again, off in the sea of green. So way, way over there, I think you can barely see it. That is where the other industries are. You see kind of like the pass, the mountain pass, or the gap, I'm sorry. Like dead ahead. That's part, let's see, what should that be? Lumber yard, lumber mill. Yeah, so that should be like your part 4 or 5, essentially. Alright, we got to stop, because fire temp's getting low. We'll just chill out here on the pass. Probably not a great idea. Let her spice up a little bit. That is one hell of a drop. Big drop. I have fallen several times. Luckily, you could build, berms or bridges or whatever to get up. Or just crawl up the side of the mountain there. Go check out the front here. Very high. So the first time, my inaugural run on this was not good at all. I derailed several times. Particularly that curve right there, it was just way too sharp. I kept having to spread them out a bit. I lost all of my cars. I had to go. They flipping, they were playing hide and seek. They disappeared. It was like a damn Easter egg hunt or something through this sea of trees. I had to go find each and every one and re-rail them. Luckily, one of the updates, which I did not mention, which I'm not gonna mention, they've updated so much stuff. I don't remember all, or I don't know all. part of it is re-railing. So re-railing should be a lot easier now. Oh, and they've added a tutorial. Now, of course, it's not a playable tutorial. It's read-only, but this is better than nothing. It is a start. Because, you know, some that come into this game, it's a hell of a learning curve. It is a very, very steep learning curve. You know, unless you're playing with a lot of people and they kind of teach you the ropes. I, of course, did not. But I did play American Railroad, so that helped because it's essentially the same, just a different game engine. You know, with some other things as well. But just pop the H key, and there you go. It's got everything you need up there. Let's see how we're looking. Alright, fire's going back up. Let's go ahead and give her a little bit of juice, see if we can get this thing started. You know what I'd love to have? I'm sure it's been requested in the idea board section of their Discord or their you know, Steam page or whatever, but a gradient. You know, being able to see the gradient that you're on. Now, is that realistic? Absolutely not. I mean, at least I don't think it is. It just comes down to railroad knowledge in real life. Sometimes there are signs, you know, that say like begin heavy grade or whatever, you know, and other things like that. But it'd be nice to have in the game, just little things like that, like the survey markers. God Almighty, I'd love to have some survey markers. But all right, let's see if we can get this thing moving here. Look at that. Heisler. Mega awesome. Mega awesome. I love this thing. It's just fun to watch in action. It's funky as hell looking. It's, I don't know. It's a cool locomotive. I like it. It's big. It's chunky. It's industrial looking. Steampunky. It's just a cool locomotive. The Climax is as well. And I would still like to get a Climax. I want to get every engine. I want to get every engine times 2 or 3. You know, and if you've been keeping up with their Discord and things like that, they're most definitely modeling other things, and there are other things coming, including rolling stock, I believe signage, more assets like I think I've seen like a gallows, turntable, all kinds of stuff, locomotives as well. I do know they're working on the, what's it, the 060 Porter. The saddle tank looks amazing, the base model that they've shown so far. But I think as of right now, and as it should be, it's a really good idea, is they should just, you know, work out the playability and the bugs. Just squash those, iron it out as much as possible before, you know, hopping on to other things. But I don't know about you, but I enjoy this game dearly. I play my share of, you know, simulators and train simulators especially, but this is the one that I never seem to get bored of these last 4 weeks or so. Like, there's always something to do, and it's, you know, it's fun creating your own railroad, actually building it. You know, the locomotives, everything kind of got to do by hand, and you just got to figure it out. You got a company, there's money involved, you got to buy rolling stock. It's just fun. It's a good game. All right, so here's the pass, Big Rock Candy Mountain Pass. That's Big Rock Candy Mountain right there, of course. I should build some sort of, you know, maybe add like a sand tower here or a water tower. Maybe a lumber yard as well. Try and build like a flat area out here. But this is essentially the summit, the peak at the pass here. It's pretty flat here. And then we're going to start going downhill. Now the downhill portion to the ore mine, which is where we're going, I don't know if I mentioned that or not. That is probably some of my better work when it comes to this pass here, because it's a lot smoother. And it does involve like 7% grades. It's got I think 3 max. 3. Friggin' Eureka could do 3 with ease. So we're hugging the tippy top of the mountain, the knob, the peak. So we have passed over. Goodbye Valley back there behind us. Now there's the gorge with the river. That is deep as well. See, what's cool about this is it's obviously a gorge, a river gorge, whatnot. So it's deeper than, you know, that side, which the valley floor is pretty high up. But this, the way we're looking here, is the traditional way that I think a lot of people built, which is totally fine. To each their own. I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to, you know, a bit of a challenge, you know, in trying to build this. And challenge it was. But in hindsight, you know, with how much time I spent on this, I kind of wish I'd have gone back that way. But anyway, it is what it is. It's here now. So you can see across on the horizon, there's a nice, almost looks like a road, almost looks like a railroad following the entire way. We can let off some of the brakes here. It's not too crazy. That is the genuine way I believe they wanted you to build out to the ore mine. And it was kind of nice of them to design it in such a way, because I remember surveying this area from the smelter, and I wanted to go down along the river, and I wanted so badly, and I was like, you know, it's not going to happen. It's just, it's too deep. You'd have to do some crazy stuff. So anyway, yeah, I do intend to build a nice kind of flat railroad through there to take iron ore once we get the gondolas to the smelter, because that's what you need essentially. And then you get rails and something else, I think. I can't remember. But so you got to take cordwood and iron ore. So the goal here is iron ore, which I can't wait to get some of those gondolas, by the way. They look pretty cool. But they are pricey, man. They're like $800 each. And I think I've got about 700 now. But if I can just buy like 2 or 3, we'll be in business. But anyway, here's the downhill section. So we're on the other side of that huge mountain ridge right there, blotting out the sun. It's dark on this side. Nice gentle descend. We're gonna head down into the mine over here, the iron ore. Now this is another area that's going to be kind of tricky, because, you know, you could always just pass through it, right? But what if you need to store cars, spin your engine around, add a little power, you know, all that stuff. It's always nice to have sidings or spurs and things like that. But there's not a lot of room over here. It's on a relatively flat section, but you know, it's going to take some planning. It's probably going to take some bridge building, you know. You know, it'd be crazy, because in real life you wouldn't really do this. You know how difficult it would be to move earth, dirt, gravel, you know, like I'm thinking. But maybe like push out some of the rail bed, just some of the dirt. It'd look kind of funny, but whatever. Whatever works. That's my main concern right now. I've seen some really beautiful stuff people have made, like just insanely beautiful and clean and accurate. But you know, my personal goal right now is function over form 1000%. Because I'm trying to get this railroad going, and I enjoy what I've done so far. I think it's a damn sight better than what I started with, which, you know, wasn't that great. I essentially had to go through and redo everything, but that's what's kind of good about it. You learn these things, learn new techniques. It's nice to chat with people, see comments, you know, watch other videos, see what other people have done to get things going, you know, see what's happening. A pair of fresh eyes, if you will. It can help sometimes. Alright, so there's a bit of a dip right there, as you saw. Now we got to give her a bit of juice. Let's see. So we'll pull back past, so we'll just run all the way forwards here. Go ahead and slack them out a little bit. There we go. Break, break, break. Need to add a little more juice. There we go. So here are your beams and lumber. So you're going to drop these off. You have got to be specific. The hitbox on these things are, you know, like I said, very specific. So be careful with that. You definitely want to make sure you're dropping it on the wood part here, the deck. I have kind of dropped a bit off the side. We'll try it with this one just as a bit of a test here. So what do we got? $6,700. Let's see what happens with those. Boom, boom. Yep, that works. So as long as a tiny bit, or I'd say a majority of it is on that, you should be good to go. We'll go ahead and drop those off as well. But what's nice about this is, you know, you get paid for bringing this product up, and eventually we're going to have a coal gondola or two, if we're really lucky. And you're just going to open these suckers up and just dump it on out, which this whole action right here is pretty cool as well. Don't want to waste it. No! I just love the modeling of these things, the gears and the pulleys and all that. It's pretty cool. We don't have very much. What was that, 20 out of 290? So essentially what you're doing when you're bringing the lumber over here, you're allowing the miners that would be here to dig deeper into the mountain. You know, because they got to have support for these tunnels. So we don't have very much right now, but that should change hopefully. Set a water tower over here again on some of the bridge planking just to clean it up a little bit, just so it's not sitting on dirt. I want to get up there. And this is the end of the line, guys. This is it. I've got a switch set here. So I'm thinking maybe have a bit of a loop where you could kind of go in and then push or pull cars out as needed. You know, maybe have a turntable if there's space, and then just come back around. Sort of like a fiddlehead or something, if you will. And then this right here, I kind of just laid some groundwork, a tiny bit of groundwork. But you can see, like, you know, if you don't want to do like me, my ridiculous mountain pass, which you can kind of see in the distance there, just take this way. It's essentially laid out for you to take. Like, all you got to do is clear some of these trees. You may be a couple $100 in the hole, but it'll look so much nicer when it's done. And it's relatively flat. There are a few ditches and things like that, like this right here. You're obviously going to need a bridge. But, you know, it's difficult. I used to try and just lay the groundwork out and then the rails and stuff like that, but I lose where I was. You know, just if there's not a lot of trees, just clear the trees out. Just get it over with. You'll make the money back. It helps. It helps me, you know, unless you go crazy and you want to clear this whole damn gorge out. You know, it's your prerogative. Whatever you want to do. To each their own. But it's going to be pricey. But this right here, this whole way, you could easily clean that out. And that way you can see where you need to go if you need to bridge a gap or something like that. You know, you should be gravy. But hopefully I've got enough room here to build a bit of a yard. But that's it. We made it to the iron ore mine. I'm excited. I cannot wait to get some of the iron ore gondolas. And then we're finally going to take them down that way to the smelter itself. But I think that's it, guys. I really don't remember the part. It's like part 4 or 5. I know I did the Loco showcase. I think it's part 4. Maybe 5. I don't remember. But hopefully by then we'll have a couple of gondolas. We'll come up here and get some of that ore. I don't know why. I had a brain fart. I was going to call it coal, but it's not. It's ore. We'll take some of that ore and go around the mountain. Hopefully that'll be done. I don't think that'll take me too long. I'm going to try and build a couple little nuanced things just so it's not like, you know, Joe Schmo vanilla just line to the thing, just to spice it up a little bit, you know, make it a little scenic, if you will, a pretty picture. But that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Just kind of another, you know, playthrough showing what I've done. Like I said, leave comments below if you've got any critique, criticism, comments. Anything you want to share about any of the stuff that I built, or what you've got going on, or anything you tried that's worked better than this or that, I am all ears and open to suggestions, and love to see and hear about different things. But that is going to do it. Next, we are going to head that away. That's it. We made it to the iron ore mine. We're getting there. We are getting there. We got some crazy building to do ahead of us. We should have a lot bigger trains. But for today, that's it. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Stay safe out there. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.